bring in Adam Schefter. Let me give you the official introduction. ESPN's coverage leading into the Eagles-Bucks includes NFL Live, Monday Night Countdown from Tampa. Their coverage starts at 3 Eastern. Then at 8 Eastern, it's Joe and Troy, Lisa Salters, Laura Rutledge. They will have the game. Oh, Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Super Wild Card Weekend ends on the ESPN networks. Schefter joining us on the program. What level of phone call would it take for you to say, Dan, I have to take this?
Probably a 214 area code or 972, and I'd be out the door, Dan. Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
All right, give me the team you think will be next to hire their head coach.
That's a hard thing to do there because we're in a cycle now where the league has done its best to slow the process down, where you're not allowed to do face-to-face interviews till after the divisional playoff round. You have to interview 2 minorities face-to-face, I believe. The Chargers already have done one with Leslie Frazier. So if you're going down the Charger path with Jim Harbaugh, they may or may not be in compliance now. They may or may not have met all the conditions. But I do think that Jim's going to be a little bit deliberate here. The Chargers have other interviews that they want to get through. And New England was an aberration last week in getting Gerard Mayo done because that was in place. But none of these other teams have a plan like that, and they're not rushing, and the league rules are designed to try to slow this down. So you're asking me to predict something a week to 10 days from now when there are so many variables that will change between now and then, so it's hard to do.
Okay, help me understand Harbaugh's situation, that it feels like he's a Michigan guy, he won a national title, but he keeps coming back to the NFL. Does he want the NFL for leverage, or does he want to go back to – that has nothing to do. No. So if he's offered a job, if he's offered the Chargers job, what's Jim Harbaugh do?
It's not that simple because you're saying to me if he's offered the Chargers job. I say to you, okay, I'm offered the Chargers job. Is the front office going to be set up the way I want? Is the coaching staff going to be set up the way I want? Are you going to implement a nutrition system? Are you going to put in the infrastructure that I want and need that you always haven't been willing to do? So the Chargers could say, yes, Jim, we offer you the job. Well, that's great. What about everything else that comes along with it? Because before I commit to making a jump to the NFL, I want everything to know that everything is in place that I need to succeed at the next level, the way that I've succeeded everywhere during my coaching career. We're not doing this the way the Chargers have done this for as long as anybody can remember. If you can change everything that I want and everything that I need, and you're offering me the job, I think he's taking it. Yes.
Who else is going to be in play for Harbaugh?
Well, I think Mark Davis has toyed with the idea of whether or not to pursue Jim Harbaugh. I wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta made a call to Jim Harbaugh. Let's see if there's any other jobs that's still open. But I do think that for the time being, the focus should be on the Chargers. I think this is a match that is potentially waiting to happen in the sense that I believe they want him. They're looking at other veteran coaches as well. They'll look at Bill Belichick. They'll look at Mike Vrabel. But I believe that Jim Harbaugh stands out to the Chargers on that list. And I believe that that's an organization Jim has played for. He coached in San Diego. He loves Justin Herbert. It fits if they could make it all work. Yeah. And with Jim, there are always a lot of questions about making it all work, right? So even though I sound like I'm saying that this is trending the right way and on a path to happening, there still are a lot of hoops and obstacles that both sides have to get through before they can make it happen. But Dan, Jim has all the leverage he needs at Michigan. He doesn't need any more NFL leverage. That has nothing to do with this.
What would it take for Jerry Jones to move on from Mike McCarthy, in your opinion?
Well, here's the issue. I go back to what everybody said to me during the course of the season. And everybody kept saying is Jerry is going to judge Mike McCarthy on how Dallas does in its last game. They kept saying that over and over. Well, we saw Dallas's last game of the season yesterday. And if he's judging him on that game, I think we all know how this is going to go. But I do not think that Jerry Jones ever thought that he would be confronted with the fact that he would have to make a decision after that game. He went into that game thinking, okay, let's get ready to host a divisional playoff game next weekend against the Detroit Lions or whoever else advances to come meet us. And lo and behold, Green Bay wins the toss, takes the ball, sticks it down Dallas' throat, and never, ever, ever wavers. And Dallas seemed to be playing from behind all day because it was. So this is all new to Jerry. Jerry's processing it. What's it going to take? He's going to decide that Mike McCarthy wouldn't be the guy that can get us to the next level. Yeah, we've won 12 straight games, 3 straight years. We've done nothing in the playoffs. We've embarrassed ourselves 3 straight years, 2 embarrassing losses to the 49ers, 1 to the Packers. And he would have to decide that there's somebody else that he believes in. And we are in a period where there's never been this much coaching talent free for hire, that he would decide that there's somebody else out there that would give this team a better chance to advance in the postseason.
How attractive is this for Belichick if that job would open?
Well, I think the Cowboys in general are just an attractive job for Bill, for Mike Vrabel, for whoever else would be in consideration. Dan Quinn, you could say. So they're America's team. They're the focus of the football universe so often, and they have talent. Like, they do have talent. Now, they have some big decisions to make, a lot of free agents too. So that roster is definitely going to require some work and retooling during the offseason. And that was why this was such an important year, because you heard so many people say, well, this is Dallas's best chance ever. Well, it lasted to about Green Bay's first possession before you realize it wasn't Dallas's best chance.
Well, we also have, Jerry, will he relinquish a little bit of that power? If I'm Belichick going in there.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it's about. Like, Bill, 1 week ago, in what was one of his final press conferences with the reporters in the New England area, said, hey, I don't have to have all the personnel power. That's not what it's about. Bill, first and foremost, is a football coach. And, one of his mentors made it work there in Dallas with Jerry. And there's no reason that Bill also couldn't make it work if that's what both sides wanted to do.
Pete Carroll going to be a head coach again?
I hope so, but I wonder. Like, it seems like people are gravitating more towards Jim Harbaugh, Bill Belichick, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, some of these other names out there right now. And we'll see whether or not he gets the look that he should. To me, Pete Carroll in LA, no brainer.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Like, brings the positive energy that they want, brings the relevancy that they need. Like, that would be, to me, a tremendous hire. And that's the other thing. So you may want Jim Harbaugh, you may start down this path, and maybe what he wants to do with that organization is too much for you. And you say, you know what? Let's just go with Pete Carroll. Do I think they're going to do that? No. But does it make sense to me? Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I could see that. That'd be a lot of fun. Mike Vrabel's value is what? Where does he sort of fit in?
He's still one of the best coaches in the game. And again, I think you have to see some of these dominoes start falling before you can see where his value fits in. Other than, I think he's on the minds of people in Atlanta, Seattle. He's had a great relationship with the general manager, John Schneider, there for quite some time. That wouldn't be a surprise to see him be a candidate there. But to actually place him into a spot, that's hard to do right now. Other than I could see him in Seattle, I could see him in Atlanta, I could see him in other places, depending on how their searches go.
Yeah, it's a fascinating time. Really is.
Dan, it always is. It always is. Okay? That's how I have a job. That's what this league does. We go from the playoffs to the hires and fires to free agency to quarterbacks. Will the Bears keep Justin Fields? And who's taking the quarterback? And who's coming up for it's one soapbox drama after another. It's great for your show.
Yeah.
It's great. People love it, right? You've been in business for a long time. And the NFL reality show, it just feels like just gets larger and larger and larger and more popular over time.
This is the deadline to announce to declare for the draft, but Caleb Williams hasn't declared for the draft.
Yep, not yet. I would expect that he would today at some point in time.
Okay. The Washington Commanders job is kind of quiet. Is that a good thing?
Well, what's quiet? It's quiet because there are other things that have taken precedent over that, like the availability of all these huge name free agent coaches. But it's not quiet in the coaching community. They did hire a general manager on Friday, Adam Peters, the former assistant general manager of the 49ers. And Adam Peters, with the help and assistance of the former Vikings GM Rick Spielman and the former Warriors executive Bob Myers and Josh Harris and that ownership group like Magic Johnson, they'll make a decision. They've got a whole host of candidates, a slew of them. And I do believe that Ben Johnson is on that list. Now, whether they can get him or not, we'll see, because there's going to be a lot of people that want Ben Johnson as well. Again, just think about it. Belichick, Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel, established, proven winners. Next tier, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Raheem Morris, like Brian. There's a lot of guys out there right now that warrant and deserve consideration. And like I said, very rarely do you have the ability for a team to be able to pick from a coaching pool of candidates this deep.
Great to talk to you. I know you're busy. Have a great afternoon. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Nice to see you.
That's Adam Schefter, ESPN senior NFL insider.